Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's show. Thank you for joining us. We have some special guests here today. We're going to be talking about activating cellular health. So I have my good friend Jay Matter, and we also have the lovely Sissel Andersen as well. And you guys have probably seen Jay on my show before. So we've become good friends and we have a lot in common, and his gorgeous partner, April, as well. So we were chatting about cellular health and talking about optimization to do with not just rejuvenation, anti-aging, but also our well-being, and looking at it also from a spiritual perspective as well. So Jay, I'll let you introduce and talk about Sissel a little bit more.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for bringing us into your world today. We really appreciate that. So, look, so Red, as you know, we've been on this journey about with all these ascension things happening, all the people call it the ascension symptoms, or the vibrations that are happening, of really how do we brace ourselves and become this real, light body, if you would. And a couple of years ago, April and I were able to, get into advanced. We were able to try and embrace this advanced cellular technology, activating it. And what we found that happened for us is that we started taking it more as like anybody, like, hey, let me see if this works, kind of help feel better, right? But what happened for us was is that we noticed after just a few months that our ages was literally reversing. And if you go to our videos, you can see our ages are reversing. And so we started seeing that. I'm like, oh, this is pretty wild. But then I would say for me, I remember probably even after the first week, I was sharing with April, I said, look, you know what? I feel like I'm seeing in panoramic. It's a really nice. It was a really nice experience. Like I felt very, very, very connected with the universe. Then I started to feel like, you know what? I'm taking this cellular technology and I don't feel the discomforts. I mean, I'm pretty, I work out a lot or whatever, and I keep myself pretty physical and active. I wasn't feeling any of that. I felt very light all of a sudden. So time went on and things like that. We felt like, and it's been a couple of years. So, and here we are. I'm still out here because time went on. I really felt like, you know what? I think we found the answer. I think we found the answer that people have been looking for when they talk about all these med beds are coming, or there's this off-planet technology that our galactic family will be there to help us and give us insight and really do this. And I believe we found that answer. So, it's called Redux, and I bring Sissel in here because Sissel's on the advisory council. I had the privilege of meeting her, a few months back ago at a convention, and really, I wanted to bring her on here because she can shed light on exactly what's happening to us. I'm talking to you from a like, oh wow, I feel great. I feel like the best. I feel like I'm 53 in a few months, and I feel like I'm 23. Right. And I wanted to bring Sissel on to say, look, what's happening to us? Why is this happening? What is this breakthrough? And also my personal belief is everybody in the world should be having this. Sissel can scientifically break down why. So Sissel Andersen, my good friend, I want to thank you for being here with us too.
Thank you very much, both of you, for having me. And I'm so excited to be able to share with all your followers, Salreta, about this amazing technology. And just like Ray, I also was very skeptical in the beginning, but I sort of thought I just wanted to use the products myself. I saw some before and after pictures, and obviously it's very visible on the outside how people look, but what's most important is what happens on the inside. And very often things happening on the inside is also reflecting to the outside. And I've always been very interested in preventing health and finding natural ways to make my body heal itself. So when I was 53, I discovered this gel and I started using it, and I saw big differences. But anyway, when I started to drink the drink, which is from the inside out, then things really started to happen. So now I'm 60 plus, and I just love to share these products with people. So in very simple ways how to explain it, it makes you feel more energized, it helps you sleep better, it gives your sore joint and muscles discomfort, it's releasing that, and it actually helps your body making sure that the cells in your body communicate with each other. And this is something called redox signaling molecules, which is a breakthrough within technology and within science and health and preventing health. And For many, many years, science thought it was not possible to make, but the company behind the same name as the drink, ASEA, was able to do that in the early 2000s. And since then, this has been going around the world, and we are now distributing these products in 34 countries around the globe. And people, they look better, they feel better, they are more energetic. Even athletes on the top level are using the products. So that's very, very simply said what it does. But also, if you think about this, we are made from cells, right? And we all started like an egg and a sperm that met each other in the womb of our mother. And then we developed from there. So we are actually a big, gigantic puzzle of cells. And these molecules are something that is native to our body from before we are conceived until we die. But from puberty and onwards, we are starting to lose the production every year. So to make it simple, you can replenish your cells with these molecules, and it helps your cell protect themselves. It helps your cells detect damage on their cells, and it also helps your body repair the damage that has happened to the cell, and it also helps the really damaged cells that are not able to be repaired to be replaced. So yeah, that's in a very, very captioned way how to describe the products. Do you want to add anything there? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Soraya.
Oh, I was just going to say that's a wonderful way to describe it. And, you know, if we're looking at cellular function and we're looking at electricity, and I'll just bring up this little picture so the audience can see, because they're really good at visual side of things too. So I've just pulled up this quick pic of the inside of a cell. So we can see there's like the mitochondrial, which is like the powerhouse component of the cells, which is almost like, you know, your power station. So if we think about like with the, I guess with ASEA and it's stimulating with that, the redox, the signaling that you were talking about as well, this is really helping to protect and energize on a cellular level. And I'll just pop this window back down. So when we're looking at, you know, with the aura and our biofield being electric too, we're really made up a lot to do with more electricity. And just when you were talking about protecting the cells and things as well, it was just triggering for me, you know, thinking about how we actually are unaware of being exposed to things that downgrade the electricity, you know, like EMFs and other forms of radiation and other things that, you know, on a cellular level, it's a little bit hard because a lot of us are eating really well, you know, as Jay was saying, like, you know, he exercises and everything, and you both look amazing, by the way. You know, both look like you're aging backwards, which we all want. And my background working in natural medicine as well, that's not only like what, you know, what we strive for, but it's what we see just a little bit with some of our clients. And if, you know, we can get people to boost and start rewinding the clock backwards, when we look at it, as Sissel was saying as well, with that sperm and egg coming together and that very sort of, I guess, electrical start to life that we have, if we really look at function of the cell on an electrical level too, not just, you know, to do with the foods and nutrients and things, I think that's a really good way to look at and to really have a foundation around this.
Yeah. You know, too, Solretta, too, is like I noticed when I first started doing this is because, you know, because I'm just like you know, people send us stuff because we have a show and they want us to try these different things. And next thing you know, we were trying all these amazing, great products. And next thing you know, there was probably about 10 or 12 different supplements I was taking. And next thing you know, I feeling good, but I didn't know why I was feeling good. The next thing you know, I got frustrated because I kept forgetting to take the 10 to 12 supplements. And then when I took this, it's like all of a sudden my intuitive compass kicked in. It was a very unique phenomenon. It really kind of almost told me like, okay, you no longer need that. You need this. Keep with this. It was like I guess, Sissel, maybe you can help on this one, but it was almost like the delivery system was so much stronger. Like the nutrients I was taking, it was actually making sure it got to the right place versus just not always being absorbed. So probably within a month, I just was not even thinking about it, but I was forgetting to take a lot of it. And I was like thinking to myself, I'm forgetting about it. But then I was also thinking to myself, it's because I don't feel like I need it. I feel like my body's working at optimum performance. I'm taking less. It was such a liberating feeling at, like I said, turning at 50 and being like, I know what I'm taking and I know why I'm taking it for, versus just second guessing things. And what I was able to associate, Sissel, maybe if you can expand on this, please, is that I was able to associate it that this was letting my nutrients know where to go and really absorbing.
Absolutely, and that's what we see all the time. So sometimes, quite a few times, this seems to be the missing piece for better health for people. They do exercise, they do have great food, and they are well hydrated, and all the things are, but still they feel not well. They feel they are aging, they feel less, they don't have enough energy. It's like on the red part of your battery on the phone. Of course, then you just charge your phone. So when we feel that, we just take this on a daily doses on a daily basis. And then if we feel we are having a little bit too little energy for what we want to do, we just pour up a little bit more. And it also, I see also a lot of the people I work with, they can, if they are on medications, for instance, quite a few of them can go back on their medication, cut back. Some of them go totally off, of course, not overnight, and of course in cooperation with their medical doctors. But it seems that the body works more like it did when we were younger. So a lot of people, they say, oh, I feel like I'm 10, 15, even 20 years younger. And sometimes you can also see, just like you said, Jay, that you could go back on your old pictures and you see that you have reversed. So what you see on the outside might also very often be a reflection of what happens on the inside. And yes, I also see that all the time, that people feel that their nutrients are better absorbed, because it's not longer anymore about what you eat, but it's what you absorb that is important. So
that's very true. And, I've noticed stories with people that are taking it too around, better gut function, better health. And when I was working for a Chinese medicine clinic as well, some of the patients were also on it, and athletes. And when we look into the cellular health, like the little cell that we brought up before, you also see like not only like with the mitochondrial aspect, that powerhouse, but with I think called ATP, which is if I can pronounce it right, adenosine triphosphate. So it stimulates that ATP for cellular function and health. So if we imagine just a normal cell and all of the EMF and things like that are hitting it, and all of the turnover and regeneration that it has to process normally. If we look at, a product like ASEA and resignaling all of that ATP to kind of come back to life, or a little bit of almost like electrode buzz to kind of jumpstart that, you can see why athletes take this as well, really to get that optimization. Can you maybe also speak a little bit, because I know I'm really fascinated like with the rejuvenation side, and a lot of my friends are being 43 now. It's something that, we don't want to as much as we can, let's put a hold on things, if not reverse it. Can you talk about like the application with the gel and with some of the skin products too, and what you really notice?
Yeah. So the flagship for the skincare products is this Renew 28. It's the gel form of the drink. So they actually start with the drink version, and then they apply put a couple of other things in it. So it's a gel-based thing. You have to shake it before you use it, and you just take it, put it on your clean skin every morning and every evening. Of course, also on the neck, on the chest. People use it all over their body. They use it on hurting joints or sore muscles. They use it on cellulites. They use it on acne and really bad skin in different ways. Also in scars. It helps your body and your skin work like it did several years ago. So it's a really good. This is more targeted. So it goes topical on the targeted spots where you want to use it. But this drink version goes more in every cells of your body. It's like a cascade effect when you drink it, and it goes out and absorbs in all your cells. So it's no smell at all. It's clean as you can have it. We use it on baby butts for sore after diapers and things, and we use it for really, really bad wounds and healing. And one of the things it also does, which is very interesting, is that it's in increasing the blood circulation with 49%. And everything I say is science-backed, so you can all, if people want the proof, we can always guide them to where they can find the information. So there are so many good things, and I cannot think of one part of my body where I don't want to have increased circulation, because that, for me, that's life, sort of. Yeah.
And I know it also helps like reducing oxidative stress as well. So if we look at, eating things, I guess berries are the things that we know that have antioxidants, even though there's antioxidants in other foods, but, antioxidants are what kind of protects us. So it's also, with rejuvenation and cellular turnover and things, not only do we want antioxidants in, our skincare, but we also want to eat them as well. So I know with your product as well, it helps to reduce oxidative stress, which means that we're going to put like a little bit of a limit in regards to aging and a little bit of a buffer between whether it's, the sun and all these other things. Even when we're breathing, we're actually getting oxidative stress too. So, just sort of living and aging naturally, we're going to get that oxidative stress. So if we can take products that are, electrically going to keep the body running and functioning a lot more optimized, it's a really good thing. I had a couple of notes as well. So yeah, it activates like antioxidants and helps to protect on a cellular level. But it also is kind of like a cellular messenger as well, going between and sort of maybe redirecting or telling things where to function and send things better. I did want to ask, I know like Jay and I are really interested in the spiritual perspective behind things as well. Can you maybe, Jay, talk to us a bit about like your view, or like if you've noticed anything different spiritually since taking the product as well?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Solretta, this is exactly why I come out here, because I know everybody's on that journey, like the people we're connected with. But as I mentioned before, I at a personal level, my pineal gland is boom, it's open. I get the downloads. My discernment is strong. My ability to be able to get connected at a source level to understand who's coming through, what's coming through for me, the insight I'm getting. My discernment meter is spot on. It really is. My ability as a business person to manifest, because I'm in such a stream with consciousness like that. And I notice when I don't take it, or I don't take it the way, sometimes if I do forget, which is very, very rare, I do notice a difference. So it is really, that's my favorite part of it. Really, it is the spiritual benefits of it. It has made a big impact in our lives, both myself and April, of just our creativity, just everything, just our knowing, just our sense of well-being. And I think when your mind is clear, your mind, you start to relax, and the day-to-day things just seem to dissipate, if you would. You start to really get there. And now one other thing I will share with you, this is pretty cool. And you know that April and I we're together more than we're not, as a business partners, as a couple, and as business partners being around like that. You can, yes, get on each other's nerves. We notice that. We notice when we're not bothered by the little things anymore. They just don't seem to affect us. We just seem to just shove them off the things that cause anxieties, if you would, or just mental discomforts of sorts. They don't seem to be there. They don't seem to be there. They don't think about them as much. You feel very much at that fifth dimensional level. You really do. You're vibrating at that level. So for me, that's I love this stuff, and I don't even like to even call it a product. I know that seems to be so natural for so many of us. I do a lot of times too, but it's almost like it's an experience. It's an experience. It's a way of life. It's something that has absolutely changed my life. I'm grateful. Sissel, I know you, because they had the opportunity. Sissel, Solretta, you have to hear this story, but because of the decision this father and son made, we may not have even had this available to us, but I'd let you talk about that, maybe, Sissel.
Sure. It started as a biotech company, and they did a lot of research on different projects. And one of the projects was this emerging or the beginning of redox signaling molecules technology. And they did research for lung-related diseases like COPD, HIV, asthma and cystic fibrosis. And they started to actually get a really good view on how these molecules would help that sort of problem. But the company that started this started to struggle financially, and by luck, the founders of ASEA, father and son, bought this technology as a promising business investment. And their goal was to finish the technology, patented it, and going to sell it to the big pharma as medication. But just to make a long story short, they did get an offer from a big pharma. They turned it down because they, in the meantime, they had seen that these molecules, at that time it was only the drink, these molecules did not only help for lung-related issues, but also for hair growth, skin things, cellulites, intestinal problems, allergies, joint and muscle discomfort, you name it. Everything that involves a cell had benefit of using these molecules. So they didn't want to go that route with a big pharma and make this into medication and maybe then pick just one diagnosis to have this drink for. So both Jay and I, we are so happy they didn't say yes to that offer, but turned it down and rather said yes to people, because that's our mission, is to get this information out to as many people as possible, and the right people that listens and hear, they will understand what this is, and they will test it, and just like Jay and I did, and we're so happy that we have it.
Oh, yeah. That's really good, and it's nice to hear of not just a vision to help people, but a company that backs that too. You did mention and touch on just a couple of genetic things too, and cystic fibrosis is one close to my heart, as one of my oldest daughters, her friend has cystic fibrosis, and they have gone down more that alternative path, for treatment and things like that. Luckily, she stayed out of hospital most of her life. Can you maybe talk a little bit about how this impacts, or how it assists with people that do have genetic things that perhaps, modern medicine hasn't really been able to help but put a Band-Aid over things or throw drugs at it?
Yeah. Of course, I need to make a disclaimer first, because we don't say that these products are curing or healing anything. We don't make diagnosis. What we say in general is that this empowers our body to heal itself. But they have done so many scientific things and research on the product. So we see that there are 5 key areas in human health that really are benefiting. The genes play a significant role in influencing, and that's in the immune system, the cardiovascular system, the digestive system, the hormone system, and the inflammation system. But in general, if you look at all the systems in our body, every action in the body, every system, there is redox signaling involved. So it empowers the body to work more optimal. And you mentioned also earlier this about antioxidants. One of the things they have seen in studies with this drink is that the glutathione in our own body is increasing by up to 800%.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah.
Really important when it comes to anti-aging, to have that increased level of glutathione, but also to do with absorption. And I imagine just with the type of product that it is too, that would probably be why the percentage is so high. So glutathione is one of those things that we really want to make sure that we're having if you're on that regeneration or anti-aging journey, not just for the inside well-being and how you feel, but also to do with actually physically looking younger. And we want to make sure that we're having that. So I haven't heard of something that increases it by that much before. That's a huge surprise. I'll just check as well if there's anything else. Can you maybe talk about also looking at it more on that cellular level, or looking at it from what it's made of too? Because I know a lot of the people that watch my show are really interested in kind of all the kind of details of it. What would be the main component of ASEA?
It's going to surprise everybody. It's the 2 same ingredients that is in 75% of our body. It's salt and water. And when you showed that cell earlier, in every single cell of our body, it's filled with salt water. And then you have all the other things. And among those things, you have the mitochondria that you were talking about, the powerhouse of our body, or the cell. And when the mitochondria is producing energy, or ATP, from what we eat and drink, at the same time, it's letting out redox signaling molecules in a perfect balance of oxidants and reductants, made from the salt water in the cell. So when ASEA has copied that composition in the factory, they start with ultra clean water and really, really pure salt, and then they break those molecules apart to free floating atoms, and they restructure them into perfectly balanced redox signaling molecules. So there is a perfect balance of reductants and oxidants in every single drink you take from this. So that's on the bottle, salt and water. And then it goes through a patented process. And also we have 7 patents on our technology and more than 1,000 trade secrets. So nobody else has what we have. This company is the only company in the world who has it, and they've been on the market in America since 2007. First a couple of years in a test period, and then officially since 2009. So yes, salt and water, just like in our body.
And I guess a lot of people will be thinking, okay, well, I'll go get some really good salt, like, Himalayan pink salt or Celtic sea salt. There must be some kind of difference, whether they stimulate it like, electromagnetically, or there must be, with that patent, there would have to be something that makes it different, or perhaps like more, where we can absorb it and rearrange like the actual cells in our body. So and I know that's probably not like disclosed to the public, that patent and things too.
But no, the patents are open for people to see. But the secret is just like, with Coca-Cola, they don't have any patents. They have a lot of trade secrets. And ASEA, they have more than 1,000 trade secrets for our products. And that's why nobody else is able to duplicate what we have done. So, but you are correct. It's a very special electrolyze process, in addition to other trade secrets that happen. So when we drink this, there is hardly any salt left. So even people with a salt restricted diet can use it. And very interesting experiment is to put flowers into a cup of normal tap water and a cup of this ASEA. And the flowers that stands in this ASEA stands for days, maybe a week longer than in tap water. And if you put a flower in normal salt and water, it will die immediately. So in itself, there you have your own experiment, if you like, sort of.
Oh, that's cool. I love experiments like that. And, when we look into Dr. Emoto, and we look into molecules and emotion and things too, it'd be interesting to see what it looks like, as a geometry or as a pattern. Has there been anything like that where they've looked at it under the microscope, or does it help like with, I guess, like absorption? Like I know with some of the waters and technology and things out there too, a molecular structure, we can see like H3O water, which comes from fruit, has a more of kind of like a smaller absorbable molecule. Do you know what it looks like on a molecular level?
Actually, I do have a photo. I don't remember where I have it now, but I will send it to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I have a photo of the crystals of ASEA drink. Yes, I do. Made from a person that is doing this as a profession. So I'll send it to you.
Oh, thank you. I might be able to pop that in after. We might flash that up on the screen. That'd be fantastic. And it's so lovely to see, like on the crystalline structure level, exactly what we're taking in, whether it's, frequency or vibration. can you maybe talk a little bit about the EMF protective side as well, and how it can kind of, I guess, protect or buffer from outside influence of electromagnetic stress?
Do you want to answer that, Jay?
Yeah. So basically, what's happening is that from how I feel it, and I live in a very populated area where there is a lot of that. So right out here in Florida, and you feel it. It's like it attacks it, and then it gets to the cells, right? Because everything cells. But then you take this, and it's like, I guess what is happening, and what I've understood over these last few years is that, let's say the EMF hits us, and we get this reaction, or we get this discomfort. All of a sudden, when we have the ASEA, it immediately notifies the cells in that area or around us where there's a problem, and it starts to go to work. So it starts to really deflect a lot of that's happening for us. So people that have, you know what I mean? And all that goes along with that. That's the thing. We feel it, but I know, like, when we do feel that all that's going around us, all that EMF that's happening, all that radiation that's happening, all that stuff that's happening, we take this, and I would tell you within, so Retta, probably within minutes, you can notice a measurable difference. It's like, literally, it's like you're getting attacked. You take this. This goes right to your defense. This goes right to your defense. This goes right to your defense. That's the sensation that's happening. So, and it's not, it's measurable. People will notice that if they're around those areas where they are experiencing that, they take this, they'll notice. And I will tell you another thing. When we went to on a plane, for example, you're in very close quarters. Yeah. There's sick people around you. There's everybody, right? As much as you love people, those are a lot of close quarters sometimes. I will tell you, before we traveled, me and April would take at least a half a bottle of this before the plane, during the trip, and after the trip, nothing, no discomfort, nothing. Didn't even feel like we were on a plane or anything like that. Because it gets all that's going around, those external forces. Again, for us, it's measurably deflecting a lot of that.
Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
I usually put some of the drink version in a spray bottle like this one, and I have it on the plane. I just sprinkle, and it feels really, really good. I'm not tired at all when I get off the plane, even long flights.
Oh, that's a good idea. And I was just thinking, I wonder what it's like, because you're also taking it into your energy field too. So you've got all those little little cellular protection, or even the salt. Like when we look into aura sprays, some of them will have salt in it. And we know that salt is also protective against negative entities, any kind of like negative energies and things as well. So I hadn't even thought about it from that side of things. I was thinking about your spray.
We put some Solretta in a spray every morning, and first thing, spray, and all of a sudden you're like, bing, you wake right up. And another thing, I don't know if Sissel, if you use this, but we use it it is the best eyedropper in the world. You put it in there, you put it right in your eyes, and it's like you can literally feel the same thing that's happening. You feel the sensation of everything seems brighter, everything seems clearer, everything seems more alive on that. But yeah, externally, I know, like my mom, she's in her early 80s. I was talking to her yesterday, and she's like, because she's like, just always remember whatever you send me, just because I send her all the stuff we get, right? And she's like, just send me the blue, right? And I say, put it in the bottles, put it in your face, you'll love it. She loves it. So it just really does. It gives you that sense of well-being again. And but again, not just aesthetically, like Sissel was saying, it's getting into the inside of us, and it's doing something. It's protecting the hell out of us, I got to tell you.
Yeah. And when we look at absorption, and skin being the biggest organ that we have in the body too, if we're taking things in and absorbing it, and it sounds like it's really broken down on such a minute molecular structure that it would absorb, in that spray, like you were both talking about. I was just thinking about, one of the biggest things that we see in aging is collagen breakdown. And we see like a lot of degeneration around, like fine lines, wrinkles, things like that. Have you noticed a big difference, especially with, like crow's feet area, or like, is there other things that you guys can physically see that you feel has like really improved, or what would be your biggest improvements?
So for me, I think the general elasticity in the skin is better. Even if I've used the products for 9 years now, and I think my skin is better now than before I started. The fine lines are not so many, and they're not so deep anymore. I think I just feel okay with my skin for being approaching my 62nd year. So for me, I'm never going to stop using it. I mean, this is like my fountain of youth, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. I would
totally non-toxic.
It really is. I mean, look, I'm a guy. I don't really talk about this stuff, but it's like, oh my gosh, I just look at it as like it's not in my genetics to talk about my skincare openly, but I do it as more of an obligation at this point to the fellow guys that are watching me too. Look, it's better to look like you look younger when you turn out. Like I said, I can I know I see my videos from 10 years ago and I look different. And my skin's tighter, just more vibrant, more alive, and everything like that. So yeah, there's some magic here. I tell you this in a good way, and I think this is really I personally believe. Solretta, because you and I are on our belief system, is I personally believe that this is from that off-world, our brothers and sisters that have blessed whoever created this, the scientists at ASEA. They blessed their hands, they blessed their minds to be able to let us experience this. Is really what I believe.
Yeah, and I was talking to our friend Tom the other week as well on his scalar technology and things. And what you were just saying just reminds me of that, someone who does receive downloads or does receive messages from God to build things, or from our star brothers and sisters. Yeah. The other thing that I had seen improvement with, when I was working in clinic was eczema and dermatitis, and especially those really like raw red cases where nothing else has worked for the skin, where they've done a change in internal diet and things. I'm just thinking as well, when we have that optimization, it makes not only disease, illness, or like candida and parasites and things like hard to thrive in this kind of situation. Have you guys both seen interesting results when it comes to like skin conditions?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Of course, it doesn't happen overnight. So people need to understand that this takes time. It might take a month, it might take 2 months, it even might take 3 months. But I've seen the worst issues that people have struggled with for several years, tried all prescribed and not prescribed medications. It didn't help them. And then they start to use these products. And some of them only use the external thing. But I think it's very important also to use the internal, because your intestinal, so sorry, I'm from Norway, so sometimes my words is like yeah. So your gut, the intestines is also related to your skin. So if you don't have a good microbiome, or whatever you call it, anyway, you need to take this for the inside and this for the outside if you want the optimal result, honestly. And also for skin issues, I have so many before and after pictures, and people they get a new life, honestly.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And when you were talking about, gut health, that's, as a kinesiologist as well, and I sort of specialized in food allergies, have a lot to do with, absorption. What it said to do with like the medicine and technology of the future, where we're looking at it from a natural standpoint, is to do with absorption, is to do with optimization on a cellular level and cellular function. For me, I really, with clients, love to see the gut cleaned out, because there's so much of like a toxic sludge overgrowth within the gut. And we see that upsets the microbiome, and we get, like a dysbiosis of things, where all of a sudden you've got the bad bacteria and things out of balance. And what also happens within the gut, if you think about like a sewage system with so much slime and things sitting on it, all of your little microvilli that help with absorption are going to be covered in sludge or blocked off, or through eating, gluten and things. We see that they can even be ground down to nothing. So we actually stop absorbing our nutrients and vitamins and things. So we could understand, if we're taking something like this internally, that it might stimulate some of those cells to start functioning again, and even assist in like regrowth for people that have been diagnosed with celiac disease, like myself. I'm a celiac, and it took years to grow back those microvilli until I actually felt like I was absorbing things. So if I could sort of go back in time and find a product that might signal that growth or activate the cells a lot quicker, that would have been really handy all those years ago.
It's all Reddit too. I know that, like, for me, if I have any gut discomfort, I rub this right there. It gets right in. It's like, and you see it. You can feel it right away. It's measurable. This is gets right in it it's working from the outside going in, while this is like Sissel was saying, the inside out. So I mean, this is I would say for people that are just about to, because generally, how it is. It's like people going to want to look at it. They want to try it, everything like this. This is absolutely going to make you a believer pretty quick. I think, what is it, Sissel? 3 times in 5 minutes, is it? How's that formula?
Yeah, for discomfort, either it's in muscles or joints or head, neck, and even for young girls in their period, they have cramps, 3 times in 5 minutes, just a small pea-size application, rub it in till it's in all the cells, and do that 3 times within 5 minutes, and usually the uncomfortability is not so bad anymore, and sometimes it's totally gone.
And something.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's quite fast. And there are developments with patches and other kind of vitamins and things that we're, I guess, technology-wise, we're heading more towards taking things through the skin. I know, like with magnesium, for example, that a lot of it, when we take it internally, is lost and doesn't get processed and absorbed into the system better. So we do actually, when we talk about absorption, we really absorb things through this larger organ, through the skin. Is there anything else that you want to share? We're sort of coming to the end of the show, but what have probably been your favorite stories around what you've seen, like benefits-wise, for both of you?
Okay, so I have several clients that has had really total cellular breakdown. Just say it like that without saying any diagnosis or something. And they have been given up from the normal traditional way of treating these kind of issues. They've been sent home to just make up their affairs, and they have been using the products, and they're still here 7, 8, 9 years later. So for me, that's the most profound situations I've seen.
Thank you for
It's so Red. It's been one after another. It's everything. It's from the child on the spectrum to the to the like what Sissel said, the person that's saying, okay, get your affairs in order, to just a functionally day-to-day in life. But the text, the emails of the people in tears, literally, like, my gosh, it saved your life. I mean, I know this sounds dramatic. It sounds like this, but often breakthroughs really are. They just that's why they call them breakthroughs, I guess. But that's what it does. And I encourage people, like, when I talk to, when you go to buy this and try this, don't do what I did. I mean, talk to someone, just make sure, because this very well could be the solution that you've been looking for. So I know Sissel's going to have her information down there and everything. I would encourage people, so Retta, not to look at it as like, well, let me just point and click and buy. You know what I mean? Talk to someone. Talk to Sissel. I mean, she's been a blessing for some. I mean, I tell you, if it wasn't for people like her, people like us wouldn't know about it. So it really is good that you do that, because, like I said, it very well could be the solution that you've been looking for you, probably maybe the ones that rely upon you the most and the loved ones that you care about. So that's what I would be doing. But yeah, one after another. But people will make their own determination. I'm sure you'll be getting a lot of it, the feedback when your show too, that people that have tried it.
Yeah, and just with, I guess, my love of natural medicine and trying to bring information to people, a lot of like what I look into as well is products that might not be seen on a day-to-day, and I just really want to kind of have people introduced to different things that they might not have looked into, or things that they might not hear about. And for me, my heart really goes out to those people that have tried everything and have been, whether it's battling with illness and disease and things for years. It really is about just putting the information or putting the ideas and things out there. And as you were saying, it's about people trying new things as well. So definitely, if it is something that you've been struggling with skin issues or gut health or, muscle aches and, pretty much anything to do with the cellular function, it could be good to contact Sissel as well and find out a little bit more. So definitely check like the details that we've got in the little box below. But yeah, thank you so much for the two of you joining me today, just educating us on, there being options for activating and optimizing our cellular health and starting that regeneration process. Was there anything you wanted to mention just before we finish?
No, thank you very much, Loretta. It's really great.
You're so welcome. Thank you both.
Thank you, Soul Retta. Thanks. You're a real soul sister. Thank you for bringing us into your world.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you.